Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Yo, this joint is called Exposing a Snitch in the Big U Case. I got this from a channel called Rap News, so don't you rat bastards and flip-flop wearing and public trolls come at me. I wanted you to see this video. I'm going to give my take on the video. That don't mean I agree with everything in the video. Make sure you subscribe to my daughter's YouTube channel, Juanita Mecca Audio, Juanita, something like that. You'll figure it out. But check it out. Here we go. All right. You know what it is. Unique Mecca Audio, man. We're in the house. This how we gonna do it. This is called Exposing a Snitch in the Big U Indictment, cooperating for lesser sentence. They call that who bite the cheese first. Now, Rap News, they feel that this man will bite the cheese first. I'm not going to take away their element of surprise. I'm just going to play the video. Let's get it moving. Alright.
Back with them bad people in this Big U federal indictment. Now, you know, it's a lot of information that's coming out. A lot of individuals speculating as to who's telling, who's snitching, who the witnesses are, and that's where we step in. Now, right now, we got one main individual who's playing some dirty games in this paperwork. Now, as we broke down when we covered this Big U indictment, there's confidential informants, multiple witnesses in multiple areas. And we also have some snitches on the forecast as well. But we're not talking about probabilities in this video. We only gonna talk about facts. So we know there's an individual that they refer to as CW1. They broke down his profile, his case history, and what information he provided.
CW1 means cooperating witness number 1.
Now, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm onto that dude, but I'm not 100% for sure that is who I think it is. So we're not gonna put that out there because, you know, we're not here to make allegations in terms of who's snitching.
I like that.
Tell you exactly who it is.
Exactly.
And you know, a lot of people, of course, they wanted to be Whack 100. They wanted to be 600, Brick Baby. We know Loose Cannon's already telling. He's self-snitching. He's implicated himself. But this individual right here is also snitching on Loose Cannon. But as of right now, we gotta say factually, it's none of them other dudes. But you know the saying, when life gives you lemons, you end up with Dale Morrison. Now, Dale Morrison is gonna be victim number 1. This is actually gonna be the biggest rat in this case. So again, this is not CW1 who was pardoned by Joe Biden. And this is not witness 1 that was around the alleged murder situation in Nevada. The witness that was working as a security guard in the studio. This is the man that was getting extorted, so to speak. The one that was robbed by Loose Cannon. And the club promoter who set up the whole situation with Big U and Deja Vu, where it was said that Big U has shook down 30 rats out that situation. But the key thing, man, is who is Dale Morrison? Now, he's not only a rat, he's actually a club promoter, and I would say somewhat of an entrepreneur throughout the city. And the next question one may ask is, why Dale Morrison? Why was he being shook down? It seems like this dude is one of them guys playing all sides. Now, the key thing is Dale Morrison has been in the mix around all these dudes for a long time. Like I said, he's a club promoter, and anybody know these club promoters, they're the ultimate people person. But especially when you promoting black businesses, black clubs, black parties, you're gonna end up intertwining with the hood at some point, especially in LA. So we've seen Dale Morrison, not only with Big U, we've seen him with Nipsey, we've seen him with Gilly the Kid, Joe Moses. Like I said, this dude has been around everybody in the city, and we gotta put this out so nobody else falls into the games that this dude is playing. Now, the paperwork has painted him out to be a victim, and on the contrary, painted Big U to just be somebody that got him in a headlock.
I mean, come on, dog. Come on, dog. This is what happened, right? Cause we riding. This is what happened, right? You in the hood, right? It don't matter what profession you have. You have what they call hood monitors. You know, you have police, work for the police force, and you got hood monitors. If you have a problem in the hood, you can't go to the police, you go to the hood monitor, aka the boogeyman, right? Now, they're painting Big U out to be the boogeyman, and that this was one of his prey, allegedly. Now, so you understand, if you can't govern the bag that you make in the hood, you're not entitled to have the bag. Do you understand that? So don't go in the street saying you're a street dude, then you start getting money, you riding a Rolls Royce, and then a dude decide to pick on you and take your joint, you know, and see where your heart is at. Because that's what happens in the hood. But that's why, because we riding. That's why, like in Harlem, even though Harlem is gentrified, right? The Bronx is becoming gentrified. Even the Brooklyn is even gentrified. With everything going on in the Bronx, Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Queens is being gentrified, you never hear of them doing anything to a white person. You know why? Because they prey on those that enter into the culture. If you're a black person, you won't get preyed on if you stayed away from the culture on the street. And that's why I'm telling you to stay away from the culture on the street, because then you become prey when you get the bag like they accusing this promoter. Let's keep it moving.
But Dale Morrison is actually playing his own games in these streets, man. So the key thing right now is Morrison is under his own federal indictment, which has nothing to do with any of these dudes in this indictment.
So that sounds like Morrison is trying to tell is what his insinuation is to get out of his own indictment that's not connected to the Big U and Rolling 60s Operation Takedown.
With this Big U Rolling 60 situation, this dude had his feet in the streets, a full participant in the life of criminality.
See, right there, they just took it out that he's not just a promoter promoting that Big U is shaking down. They're going to show us, I assume, because I haven't seen this video yet, that he is a willing participant of the street culture and he chose to be involved in it. He couldn't maintain the bag or protect the bag, so you came in and allegedly shoot the bag out of him.
He's not just some weed shop owner that's trying to make a living and ends meet by playing it fair. This is the misconception of this whole situation. Now, the indictment that he's allegedly the main defendant on is a conspiracy with the intent to possess narcotics. Also possession with the intent to distribute narcotics. And the main key thing is the feds are alleging that Dale Morrison is using businesses in LA as fronts, including the same business that Big U was allegedly shaking down. So we've seen Morrison with multiple different businesses: MLB Investments and Holdings, M4 Morrison Media Marketing and Management, DMO 20 Consultants LLC, Everybody Eats, which is also synonymous with the Everybody Eats genetics.
Yo, look how dude look like he's not even happy to be there in the picture with Big U, hands in his pocket, like, man, this dude shaking me down, man.
Cannabis business, which he's affiliated with. Now, at the time when he was allegedly participating in the conspiracy, some of these businesses were operating off some high rises off Fed. Now, as of today, he's changed the addresses to these businesses. But in 2020, it's alleged that he was working with 4 other co-conspirators by the names of Jordan Jackson, Keyshawn Brandon, Brittany Duff, and Deja Purifoy. Now, everybody except for Keyshawn Brandon was operating in Ohio. Keyshawn Brandon, aka Keys, is said to be Morrison's bodyguard, or security, so to speak, that protects his criminal endeavors. And it's said that on July 25th, 2020, Keys was chaperoning around 7,000 grams of meth, approximately 2,000 grams of powder, and around 5,300 grams of weed from LA to Ohio, which is when they got pulled over. And somehow, some way, it comes out that this shipment came from Dale Morrison. Now, mind you, this is July 2020. In the Big U indictment, the Fed said they didn't start watching Big U until February 2021, after the alleged murder committed by Big U in Nevada. But again, they was already watching the 6-0s in 2020, and they were able to track 8 USPS packages sent from Ohio to different addresses in LA, some in the 40s, a business in the Mansfields, and of course, an Addy in the 6-0s, where it said that around 150 racks had came from Ohio and touched down in LA, which the feds are alleging is proceeds that Morrison was receiving in this drug conspiracy. Now, 6 days after they got caught in that car, Morrison's house was hit July 31st, 2020, where it said this dude also had a bunch of weapons, but he wasn't fully taken in on this indictment until a year later, April 28th, 2021. But the Big U document alleges that he was a known extortion target since the beginning of their investigation on Big U. So as we see here in this Big U paperwork, it states victim 1 has a criminal history that includes arrest for narcotics conspiracy and distribution in violation of Title 21, Section 846, respectively, for which he is pending sentencing. It's still an open Fed case. He hasn't been sentenced. Why? Because he's using his telling on Big U in this indictment, in which it says that victim 1 will likely receive cooperation credit based on this case in his unrelated pending drug case from the United States Attorney's Office in the Southern District of Ohio. So this information right here is why there's no need for guessing.
All right, so let me explain to you how that worked, right? So he's sitting there, he locked up on the case. So when you get locked up on the case and then other people get picked up on the case, if you know anything about that person on the case, if you don't know anything about that person on the case, people even go ask other people things about the person that got picked up that they know the feds got a big green eye on. You know what I mean? They forfeit everything he owned. They go to them and they ask them what they know, they tell what they know, or they make up something, and that's called hopping on a case. Now, they hop on the case. A lot of times they hop on case, don't even have no facts, don't have nothing. A lot of times the government just give them a script and say, hey, read this. You know what I mean? Memorize this. When you go on the stand, this is what you say, and I'll give you a time cut on your case that you're already solving. Now, the question to you is, if you already serving 20 years and the feds come to you and say, I locked up your dude from your neighborhood, I need you to read this statement, memorize it, and get on the stand and say that this is what transpired with you and this person. Would you do it to get a lesser sentence? Put it in the comments. Let's keep it 100. All right?
There's no need for allegations. There's a lot of bunk that's coming out. Is this dude snitching? Is he snitching? You know, people grasping at straws just for the content. The paperwork is telling us who these people are. Now, like I said, in the forecast, there are some snitches that's coming out. But, you know, that's neither here nor there because we have to move factually when we talking about people as rats. And this is what I mean by this is a dirty character right here. He caught an unrelated Fed case before any of this situation and immediately started pointing fingers at the big fish because he's a little fish in the streets, but nonetheless, he's still in the streets. He's not some innocent victim just floating around getting a noogie on his head. You know what I'm saying? And then with that situation that they had at Deja Vu on Big U Party in 2021, he complained and snitched about Big U pressing him and the other promoter for 30 racks. But then he turns around the next year and still promotes his next party in 2022 at Cheetahs. This dude playing street games, but when the big fish come and collect, he want to point the finger now. But he got some even nastier work on his name. He's also been convicted of a robbery, and guess what? Human trafficking of a minor under the age of 18. Shit, I see why he's getting pressed. this is a weird dude in the streets. And it's also said that he has ties to Whack 100. We're going to get to that though. Now, one can make the argument that Big U wouldn't even be under an investigation by the feds if it wasn't for this dude. Reason being is because the homicide that took place in Nevada was under investigation by the police in Nevada, not the feds. This dude comes along, and now you have the full RICO where we're talking about money, extortion, and robbery being involved into a full enterprise with Big U. Now, along with CW1, Morrison also told the feds about the Adrian Broner situation. He had a recording on Big U when he sat down with him April 14th and April 15th of 2022. He was mic'd up when Big U was talking about the Adrian Broner situation. Now, like I said, this is the same person that Loose Cannon admitted to robbing. This is one of the main reasons why Loose Cannon is sitting down. Not only did Loose Cannon talk on the podcast, but what sealed his fate was the dude he robbed was working as an informant. So like I said, all he had to do was corroborate the story that Loose Cannon told as being factual. And of course, with him being the victim, it was extremely easy for Loose Cannon to get snatched up. Now, like I said, he was around all these dudes before this investigation popped off, and he was around all the way up to when they got hit. But in the Big U video, we also spoke about a time when the Nevada police had went to Big U's house to pay him a visit in regards to the murder that took place out there. We see Dale Morrison on the wiretap with them later on that night, giving extortion payments to Vay. And he also dug into multiple details to the feds about how Big U tried to get him to line up other weed dealers and other businesses in the city. But
yeah, that's common, okay? You know, it's alleged that Big U tried to get him to line up other weed dealers in the city, right? So what that is, you's a whore. You know what I mean? So therefore, you know other whores, because whores hang together. And, turn me on them, and I'll break you off what I get from them, which will balance out what I'm already taking from you. That's how a whore gets worked with on the street. Just keeping it 100, just so you understand, because it's a gangster channel.
But the key thing, this dude was making 25% off of the tape. So
you see what I'm saying? He broke him off, allegedly, 25% of the take. By him getting 25% of the take, he take that, and then now that balance out with him giving him his whatever he's shaking him down for. So he's basically working to get back the shake-off money.
So I'm not going to sit here and act like this dude was just living the worst life possible. He got tired of being punked, and his run-in with the feds in the situation in Ohio has led to him becoming spooked. And he's using that to get from up under Big U's thumb. Like I said, we seen this dude with all the rappers, promoting all the parties. We seen him promoting Filthy Rich, everybody. This is not somebody you want to be around. I'm going to keep it real. You never know who else he going to throw up under the bus to lighten up that federal indictment that he got looming over his head. And it's one thing called a sentence memorandum. That memorandum right there breaks down everything in regards to your sentencing. You meet with the judge and they go over everything. All the people that's there for you in the courtroom, all the letters from your employers, your family, all the mitigating factors that you're using to try to get the judge not to send your ass all the way up the river. And like I said, at that point, that's when these cooperation credits are going to take effect, and it's going to drop his points down and lessen the blow of that offense. That document is still sealed, and he's not sentenced yet. Mind you, this offense happened in 2020, and he went down in 2021. Here we are 4 years later. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't get sentenced until after everybody in this Big U indictment is taken care of. Because we may see this dude on the stand if anybody takes it to trial, which I'm highly doubting right now. But like I said before, this dude participated in countless wiretaps. It seemed like Vay and Big U stayed on this dude on the phone, and all he was doing was leading these guys over to Title III. But like I said, he went down in April 2021. 8 months after this is the man that was making those controlled extortion payments. The FBI gave him thousands of dollars, split up over multiple occasions, slid it right to him so he can go meet with Big U or Vay and document those extortion payments. Like I said, this dude wasted no time to get out in the field and work as a confidential informant. but they call him a victim. And one key thing you got to realize about these dudes that work for the feds, you know, of course, everything's incentivized. There's a reason. They got something hanging over your head, but you also have to enter some sort of a contractual agreement with these people. And of course, nobody wants their information out there. Nobody wants the feds to say that they working for them. But the key thing is, in that contract that you sign with these folks, they let you know that they can't promise and ensure you that your information will be kept solid. Because at some point, if somebody goes to trial, you may be called as a witness. But like we see here, they basically told us who he was. Again, this is why there should be no speculation in putting.
All right, it says victim 1 has a criminal history that includes arrest for narcotics conspiracy and distribution in violation of Title 21, United States Code, Section 846 and 841, small a, big 1, respectfully, for which he is pending sentencing, robbery in violation of California Penal Code Section 211, as well as the felony conviction of human trafficking of a minor under the age of 18 in violation of California Penal Code Section 236, small c. Victim 1 will likely receive cooperation credit based on this case in his unrelated pending drug case from the United States Attorney's Office in the Southern District of Ohio. So dude allegedly got caught up in Ohio. Well, dude got caught in Ohio and he flipping. So now he telling what's going on in California. So Ohio and California working together so that they could take down Big U and that organization. Ohio gets credit, they get credit, and he get credit to get a time cut. Let's roll through this, man.
Now false content until the information drops. But what we meant by this dude playing all sides, you know, as a club promoter, he's mixed in with everybody. Wack is in the entertainment business. He got to get his artists in these clubs and make this chilly. But on June 5th, 2022, on the wiretap, Big U was telling this dude, stop doing business with Wack 100 because he's a rat. And a month after that, Big U broke down the situation to Dale Morrison that he had with Wack 100. Now, I believe Wack was talking about this, you know, he's kind of hard to listen to. I'm going to keep it real, man. But the account of the incident that was on wiretap, the account that the feds have, and the account that Dale Morrison has, is that Big U and some 6-0s chased down Wack. And Wack took off screaming, saying, my wife draws. I see you, Eugene. I see you, Eugene. I see you. He said he was screaming, and he said he had a blower.
All right, so it says Henley recounted to victim 1 an incident in which Henley and Rolling 60s gang members chased down Wack 100 attempting to hurt him. There is 15 to 20 niggas with us with hoodies tied down. I got my hoodie on all black, tied down. So in other words, they brought him on a mission. She like, boom, she jumped in the car, paid for U1, and then took off. Boom, this nigga screaming, my wife draws. I see you, Eugene. I see you. Eugene Henley, I see you. In other words, he's saying that, Wack was saying, I'm going to tell on you, I see you, Eugene Henley, if you want to believe what this young man is saying. He's screaming all that. He's got his blower. You won. His blower out. You won, but he's effed up because nobody's around. We like, bitch ass nigga. I'm like, yeah, bitch ass man. He like, you one died here. Man, don't do this. My wife, my kids in the car. Draws. What does draws mean? Don't do this. He's screaming. What does draws mean? I don't know. Somebody put that in the comment.
But he said, Wack pleaded and said, don't do this. My wife, my kids in the car. He said, draws, don't do this. This is the account told by Big U to Dale Morrison. So we see why Wack is on this campaign, man. These two is for show beefing. Now the comment where he said Wack 100 is a snitch, like I said, of course we all would like him to be, especially at this juncture, but I have no paperwork on it, so I can't say. But nonetheless, Mr. Dale Morrison is for show them bad peoples, man. And CW1, he's gonna be coming soon too, man. We gotta call a spade a spade. It just is what it is. Especially when these dudes is hanging around other artists, mingling with the streets, 1 foot in, 1 foot out type shit, doing shit for their advantage. It's all fair game at this point. Rap news, street politics. the best hood channel on YouTube. Y'all make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. We out.
All right, that's what's up. Let's go. All right, so we talking about Big U right now. A lot going on. Make sure you share this video. You know what it is. Let's keep it moving. Make sure you subscribe to my daughter's YouTube channel, Juanita Mecca Audio, and Unique Mecca Audio Prison Stories and Mecca Audio TV. Cop the merchandise, you know all that. Hit the notification bell. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe one more time. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. And the thumb button is a must.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, he back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. An Instagram page and a YouTube you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca Audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be whoring uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend an ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours, so we can give back to the.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.